a good physical practice. We offense went against defense a lot. There wasn't a whole lot of individual today. Really just trying to strain our guys. We're really trying to develop that trust that coaches can trust the players can trust the guy beside them. We're trying to strain them, trying to really come together, kind of like I talked about day one, really working hard to get our edge back. And, so a lot of energy in practice. Like I said, a lot of good competition.
How much was that edge and energy, was some of that missing down the stretch last season?
Well, I mean, obviously the way we finished, we weren't happy the way we finished. And so, we really take pride on that. The very first year we were here, we finished extremely strong. We didn't do that last year, so we're going to make sure we really focus this spring on being very physical and, being able to trust the guy beside us.
How much is Jason Smith looking at receiver
Uh,
now?
he's gonna play some. We're still gonna have him do quarterback. He's done a good job, but he's the type that we definitely need him on the field. He's got a lot of skills, as far as just athletic ability. So this spring we'll be having him do both. He's still getting reps at quarterback.
When we opened spring last week, you said it was pretty much going to be all quarterback. Was something?
Well, what we said is it'll be all quarterback as long as he wants to compete for the job, and he still wants to, but at the same time he wanted to try some receiver. And so we're going to do a little of both, the rest of the spring.
Have you ever had a quarterback work on punt returns?
We could have last year. Our quarterback the last 2 years could have done it, but back in high school I did.
Gus, since you guys didn't scrimmage Saturdays, a plan for Thursday to have that be the first scrimmage?
No, we won't, but we will do some tackling. We'll make sure we come back on our Saturdays, so we'll be all out scrimmages, but we need to practice. I mean, we still need to, Coach Muschamp still installing the defense. We're trying to be very patient offensively with our installs, so we make sure and give these young guys a fair chance. We're rotating everybody now, and we want to continue to do that. And then once we have our installs in and our young guys have a good foundation, then we'll let them scrimmage in a big type scrimmage as far as the stadium goes.
Yes, what stood out about, anything stood out in the first 4 days to you as far as overall?
I would say that for the most part, I've liked our players' approach. I really believe that they're trying to do, what their coaches are asking. But we just got to raise that bar every day as far as fighting through the physical part, fighting through the mental part, and just getting better each day. That's what we're working on. Like I said, we're straining our guys extremely hard right now, and we really expect them to improve, each practice.
I know leadership's something that develops over a course of time, but have you seen some guys already start to kind of work in that role?
I think it's starting to happen. I mean, anytime you get strained, the leaders are going to find a way to come up, and like I said, they're getting strained, and so we're starting to get some guys in position. But the key to leadership is consistency. And we're still working through that, and that's kind of what I said about the trust factor, with the defense and our defensive players, Coach Muschamp, and our position coach being able to trust them. They're still working offensively, same thing. There's a lot of young guys out there. There's new quarterbacks. We lost a lot of older guys, so we're still trying to define kind of who we are, from a leadership standpoint, not only on both sides of football, but overall as a team.
Is Tim Irvin still able to practice? Looked like he had a cast on.
Yeah, he was out there in practice, got a lot of reps.
Just talking about how Jeremy has progressed his last
Yeah,
year.
I thought Jeremy and Sean are getting about equal reps. They're both competing for the job. Jeremy, this is his third go-around, third year with us. The expectations for him are extremely high. Sean is a guy that's been with us a year that has a lot of ability. Right now they're pushing each other, and it's good.
Tony Stevens, go ahead,
Jamel President, is he a little banged up?
Yeah, he is. We're hoping to have him back. Once we come back for the spring break, he is a little banged up, and so hopefully he'll be back, full throttle when we come back.
Players continue to keep talking about Tony Stevens and what he's been doing in practice. Do you think he's finally making that turn?
He's one of the guys that we're ready to take that next step, and he has shown signs of being able to do that. It's just a matter of being consistent. This spring will be, very big for him, and so we're giving him a lot of opportunities. Some quite a few with the ones, practice to see what he can do. So it's just a matter of him being consistent.
When a guy's coming off a season like him, Gus, with only one catch all year, as much as you can see on the practice field now, especially when you start projecting for the fall, how hard is it to say, all right, even if he is doing well in practice, you not have that confidence yet until you do see it again?
Well, you know, when you get in a scrimmage type situation, you know, from a coach's standpoint, even though it's spring, you really find out. And a lot of guys mature, you know, a lot of guys, the light will click on and they'll just turn into a different player and they really want the ball and all that. So that's what we're really hoping for him. But we're going to give him plenty of opportunities, you know, in scrimmage situations. And, you know, when we go over the stadium, it's a little bit different when we're scrimmaging. So we're just hoping, not only him, but there's a handful of other guys that, you know, we're really hoping to take that next step forward.
How good has it been to get Alex Kozan back out there and getting in
Yeah, I mean, Alex, you know, he's a freshman All-American. He was a big part of our run game in 2013, and just his presence out there, even though he's not doing the physical stuff, he's doing everything else and running well and all that. You know, it's good to have him out there.
Will you do anything before the season's over, before the spring is over?
It is possible. Yeah, we're going to wait till we get back from spring break. He's going to be reevaluated, but it is a possibility.
How do you think Brandon Smith is doing before this year?
Well, you know, he's playing some guard. He's playing a new position. You know, he wants to be good. He practices extremely hard. He's a smart guy. I think he really, you know, I hadn't seen the film yet, but just looking today in the practice field, it looked like he took a step forward as far as his execution.
With Ricardo Lewis being a senior,
Yeah.
is this the type of year you're expecting him to have to break out?
There's no doubt. I mean, this is that he's done a lot of good things for us, but you know, really trying to emerge as a guy that we can, you know, consistently throw the ball down the field. That's what we're working really hard on. He's committed to that. You know, he is one of our leaders. You know, everybody's seen he's got running back skills in the backfield, but we're going to really work hard on the down the field consistency, playing receiver. I know Coach Craig's, you know, working extremely hard with him on that.
With Austin Golston, he's such a tall guy to be working at center. You notice that it's maybe a little bit more difficult than trying to get off and things of that sort?
You know, not really. He bends very well. You know, Xavier does too. Both those guys are getting a lot of equal reps, but as far as his size, no, I'm not seeing anything that would, you know, limit him playing that center position.
We just don't see that a lot. I mean, what did you guys see early on, even back in ball prep, to think, okay, this can work?
Yeah, well, he was athletic, and we did try him out, you know, snapping, and he was very consistent with his snaps. And he's a smart guy. We ask a lot of our center to make calls, and we're going on the run and all that. So we just felt like because of all those factors, you know, you have a chance to compete with Xavier, you know, for the job.
You guys, did you guys apply for an extra year for Alex based on the injury?
Not yet.
Guess as a follow-up to what he was asked about Austin, how much when you're trying to find a new center does the chemistry with the quarterback come into play? I mean, because Jeremy was up here last week and already said Austin's one of the closest friends he's got on the team.
Yeah, I think it's very critical, I mean, from a quarterback standpoint, because a center, they have tendencies just like everybody else. You know, if they step right, the ball can be left. And so you just kind of get used to where the ball's going to be according to, it's not always perfect. And so it takes a little bit of time, even though you're in the shotgun, it takes a little bit of time to get used to certain speeds, because not every center is going to have the same speed. They're not all going to have the same accuracy, so there is a little bit of getting used to.
Well, how much does that come into play? I mean, do you guys actually ask Jeremy which guy do you feel more comfortable getting the ball from?
No, we really don't ask him that. I mean, you know, we can tell by evaluating, you know, what he's comfortable with and all that. And we just try our best to get our centers consistent with the speeds and get it in that square area. It doesn't always happen that way, but that's what we try to, and it usually works itself out, you know, as far as that goes.
How do you look to prepare for Thursday, given that you have this break? It's the first time you've had that here at least. So how do you go about handling Thursday? Is it going to be a little bit less intense, or are you going to still?
No, it's going to be a very similar practice to what we had today. Like I said, we're going to keep straining. We're going to keep being physical. We just got to take that next step as a unit. Then of course we'll have spring break, give their bodies a chance to kind of heal up a little bit and give them a mental break, and then come back and really finish spring strong. That's our goal.
Gus, back to Jason Smith real quick. First early impressions of his work at wide receiver so far.
I mean, he just did a little bit, but mean, he's an athlete. I mean, we recruited him. I think he was the MVP of the Mississippi Alabama All-Star game playing wide receiver. I mean, he's got the skill set to do a lot of different things.
Joel?
With spring break coming up, and what happened with, Dak Prescott, is that something that your players kind of already have in their minds, or something that you have to remind them?
You know, I think every year, from a coach's standpoint, when you have 100+ guys going off to different places, I mean, we try to do our best to educate our guys to stay out of the wrong situations, be in the right situation and all that. But, we got a good group of kids, but, we're always going to address it and, try to look at examples around the country, like you've seen the last, 2 weeks.
All right, Coach.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thanks, Coach.